Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Argya Fais Rahman. I am from class 10, software engineer 1. I'm here representing the school of Jakarta Pusat 1 Vocational High School. And today I will be telling you a story about the origin of Lake Sentani. Without further ado, let me begin. Now, long ago, in the land of Papua, there was these two kids. They were best friends. They were named Habhoy and Rowali. Both of them were from the Wali clan. Now, they learned from each other. They did a lot of stuff together, basically. And one day, they decided to deepen their knowledge. They asked around houses to houses, and eventually it led them to this one teacher, one wise old teacher that lives in the forest called Rahman. With that, they began their journey towards the teachers. Eventually, they did make it, and the teacher took them in for a couple of days. So it's a lot more convenient for them to learn. And within those days, they have learned the essentials of survival and other things, like how to scavenge for food, which berries, which mushrooms are poisonous and aren't, how to find water sources, how to make a tent from branches and leaves. With that, Haboy and Ro think that they were ready, and they wanted to explain this knowledge that they have been given towards the village. They wanted to leave, but before they left, their teacher gave them an angai and told them that this angai right here should not touch the ground. If it does, they must reach higher ground. Now, with that, they took the angai and they left, and they began their journey back home towards their village. On their way, they took in the beautiful scenery of the forest that they were in. Both Haboy and Ro were in shock and awe as they looked around the forest. But Haboy warned and reminded Ro about the angai and their teacher's wise words. Eventually, it didn't really work out because both of them spotted a beautiful blue and yellow cassowary flying through the air, through the forest, and they decided to put their stuff down, even the angai, on the floor, and they started chasing after the bird, the cassowary, as if they were trying to catch it. But eventually, they were tuckered out, and they weren't able to catch the cassowary because it was too fast. Now, as they were catching their breath, Haboy remembered about the angai. His face filled with shock as he quickly reminded Ro about the angai that they forgot. Both of them quickly ran back to where they left their belongings, arriving at a cliff-like edge where they could oversee the lower level of the valley. But instead they would see a rising pool of water quickly rising by the second. The angai was actually spewing water profusely, and eventually the water reached up to ankle high. Ro quickly reminded Haboy about their teacher's wise words and that they must reach to higher ground. And with that, both of them took off towards the nearest cliff or the nearest mountain. But eventually, the word and news about this newfound lake has reached their teacher, and their teacher decided that they wanted to meet up with his students. And with that, the teacher said, "My students, you have learned a valuable lesson. Your mistake here has created something beautiful, but you cannot repeat it again. Take this as a lesson and a reminder for you and future generations." As what the teacher was saying, Um, the lake has been, the story of this has been passed down through generations and generations, being called the Lake of Peace, and respecting wise advice, respecting nature, and the balance of life. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have. This is the end of the story. My name is Argya Fais Rahman again. Thank you.